Welcome to the Jammin' Podcast. I'm your host, Kui.
This is Nate.
We hope you have a jammin' time with us tonight. Before we get into it, I'll rip a prayer
Let's do it.
and we can make it shake. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you so much for allowing us to do this, Lord, allowing us to come together and share stories about our testimony and dive into your word, Lord. We ask that you just open the ears and the eyes to anybody listening or watching this, Lord, that it just touches their heart to have them maybe talk more about Jesus or pick up the Bible and just see what's calling to their life, Lord. And we love you. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Let's go. Well, what are you cracking right now on your drink? Oh, you got the cola, huh?
I haven't opened it yet. Cherry cola.
It's the one that I said that's my favorite.
This is your favorite of all time?
It's up there.
I think I've tried this one.
You said you didn't like. You said you'll still drink it because it's, I believe, over a 4.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've tried it. Let's see.
I on the other hand, am sipping a
tea.
Yeah, a Wake espresso tea. Wake espresso. It's a shop out here.
You're off with the caffeine, dude. How you feeling?
I'm struggling, but actually, now that I think about it, the first 3 days were the hardest. I was, if for anybody that doesn't know, I was drinking 2 Celsius minimum a day, so that's like 400 milligrams.
That's a lot
of caffeine, and then just the cold turkey it. So yeah, I had massive headaches this weekend. Like I couldn't even function. I was even talking to you about it last podcast. Like I think I'm gonna have headaches, and dude, it was intense.
I'm proud of you, dude. You've done how many days in?
This is technically day 4.
Dang, day 4, no caffeine.
Day 4, no caffeine. Day 4, no like processed food, I guess.
I know. I enjoyed a quesadilla up there, and I was like,
I can't eat it.
you're not gonna eat a quesadilla?
Yeah, 'cause no cheese. I can't have cheese, like
no
dairy.
cheese either.
Can't have the dairy.
Oh.
I'll start ripping.
No Celsius, no dairy,
No Celsius, no dairy,
processed.
no process, no
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, no nothing. That it was my life, but
Do you feel stronger?
I feel, especially today, today's the 4th day, I feel like I didn't have that crash from 1 to 4.
There we go.
Like, 'cause I'll start off really hot in the morning, and then I dip into that like 12 to 4, 12 to 3, that phase, and I'm just like gassed, like I'm just tired and drowned out. And then I start picking back up throughout the night. But today, I kind of feel like I progressed in the morning, and then I kind of like stayed. We had the kickboxing today, and then now I'm just kind of like finishing the night to go down. So I think it's just like a wave is what I'm trying to have. I want to peak in the morning and kind of keep that, and then just kind of wind down for bed.
There we go.
So I think it's working. I hope it is, but I'm feeling great. Hopefully we can keep it on. Definitely the key is the whole foods. My wife has cooked every single meal for me, snacks, lunch, dinner, breakfast. I'm eating breakfast now every morning, and that could be the key. I think the major thing we asked ChatGPT and kind of went on like a Chinese medicine wave.
Oh.
So it was like based off like the white on my tongue, the like being bloated, fog, the brain fog, the stress, and then just like hard to lose weight because I'm like training every day, but like I'm not losing the weight that I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And it all came back to like, let's heal it through food. And so it was basically what I want to just sum it up, but my wife was saying that it's like a spleen issue. So like my body isn't processing the food to be nutrients properly, like as energy and stuff. So that how to balance that out is to eat whole foods, and then specifically for me, stay away from, like sugars, stay away from, just anything like processed, not like real nutrients, and then the caffeine for the crashes. and then the carbonated drinks for the bloatedness and things like that, and then the dairy, you know.
So you think that these are like making you bloated?
Mm-hmm.
The energy drinks were?
That's what I said. I said, what?
Like, how do you know if you're bloated?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of like you feel it and it
Yeah.
looks like it, and then
Do I look bloated?
no, I don't think.
I drank 3 today.
Well, I hope you don't. I don't know. Your body process is different
This is
than
my
I.
third one.
Yeah. Well, no. Your sleep is definitely different because I wouldn't always like. I knew when I had good sleep was like that 7 to 8 hour line, and so definitely focusing on trying to get that as well. But continuing to train hard, eating more, like eating more whole foods and real foods, and then making sure I'm getting that like 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and then that's how I can function at a high level of doing 3 to 5 videos a day. Um, Still running the Bible study, still running the clinic, still training. Like I want to do all those. I don't want to make an excuse for not being able to.
Yeah.
I want to do all that, and it just requires me to make some changes in my life.
Yeah.
So
Well, proud of you.
thanks, man. Thanks. You have 2 marathons coming up this year.
Yeah, dude.
How do you feel?
So I'm only gonna run one marathon. I'm gonna run the half marathon.
You're gonna run one the full and then one the half.
So I'm gonna run. So I was gonna run the full on November 1st, but I looked at the times, and I'm just not fast enough to run it because they only have. I think they're cutting off a part of the street for it, and
You're
basically
definitely fast enough.
So the only reason why it made me nervous is I was like, okay, I think it was like if you're not gonna finish in like 3 or something like that hours or 4 hours or something like that, and it was like don't even try it because they only have a certain amount of time for the street to be blocked off for you to finish.
Is this must be like a competitive marathon?
I'm not too sure. It's the Freedom Run one, or I think it said like 4.5. I don't know, something like that. But it said if you're not gonna do it by a certain time, and I looked on my Strava off of my like latest run. This is going off of my latest running, and keep in mind my latest running isn't my fastest running, just because I took like a little bit of time off. So I don't know. We'll see in like 2 weeks. So I figured Jay's gonna run the half marathon.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's just run the half marathon too.
Oh, you're gonna run it with him?
Yeah, I'm gonna run it. We're gonna run it together.
Yeah, the Freedom one. I don't know if it could be different, but I ran the Rock and Roll one, and I mean the cutoff time was like for the half marathon to run the full was like really high to where I was like, oh, I'm fine.
How long did it take you to finish your marathon?
My marathon took like 5 hours, but that's because I didn't train. So I was pacing around like a 4:30 to mile like 17, and then mile 17 just went like that's when I started walking. I started like I couldn't move my legs. Like that's when it was like a mental battle, and I blame myself obviously, but I blame like the seriousness I took the training. Like I trained really hard for a month, got hurt, didn't train at all, and then just ran the marathon.
Dang.
So that was it. But I put in like that first training month, I put in over like 125 miles.
Oh, you were going crazy.
Yeah, I was going crazy. I was running like 17 miles a weekend on Saturdays, and I was going back and forth, and I was feeling good, and I was like running at a pace around like 11, 12 minutes, and I was like, I know if I just stay at this pace, I'm going to finish like good. But I was not prepared for anything after 17 miles. That was just like, dude, those next 9 miles were the hardest 9 miles I've ran ever. And so like that half marathon we ran, that was my best half marathon time, and I beat my first marathon by like 30 minutes.
Because I think I can crush a half marathon right now.
You can easily crush a half marathon.
So I was like, I'd rather not just like I'd rather crush this. And
crush it, feel good.
Go back into December.
Go back into season train. Yeah, and then destroy that one. Is that the Rock and Roll one?
Well, it's the San Antonio one because they don't do the Rock and Roll one here no more.
Okay, so then that's the San Antonio one.
But it was kind of upsetting. I was kind of upset at myself because I did let go of the training for a good while. I was training all year, and then close to like these last couple months, I haven't been training as hard, and I was like, I should have been faster than this.
Well, so is it difference between being faster or just being like wanting to finish? Because I know you can finish the race.
No, we can finish it, but I don't know if I can do it in the time.
You want the time.
Yeah.
The time is like your goal.
Yeah, I want to finish in a certain time, yeah.
Yeah, for me, my first marathon was just like, if I finish it, I've beaten every single thought I had of myself of ever running a marathon.
Well, you did one.
I did one.
I forgot what the statistics are of like people doing them. They're not high.
It's not high.
Yeah.
But as a competitor, it's just like, dang, I could have done that better.
Could you imagine like winning, like being the first one to?
Oh no, I saw the guy when I was passing my getting to the half marathon. I saw someone finishing. I was
No
like,
way.
yeah. I was like, this dude's crushing.
Being that fast.
The dude was fast. I mean, he was all like mile 20 because it was like the 13 and then the loop around was like mile 20, 21. I was like, oh, this guy's crushing.
This guy's done. He's finishing it.
Yeah. So, running is just like, I think for me personally, I've always hated running.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like it was never fun for me because I always like I started off slow as a kid and I just like to lift a lot of weights. Like I like just being big and then realizing in sports like speed is everything. And so I didn't get that until like the tail end of my career and then I got fast at like the end. But I think running is like the best thing you can do for your whole life. It's just like
It feels good.
yeah. The type of high you get when you finish or the type of feeling you get when you finish, it's different than lifting weights for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
We need to be in one run. We need to get back into running.
We do need to do some run groups.
Yeah. Those are fun, bro.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I think we should definitely, speaking about like the community as well, like when you put us on that, like the Christian community of like events that are going on, I think the run groups, I think the worship pop-up events, I think all those things is really like our next step of like, you know, reaching out to guys that have the same like, hey, I want to have the like-mindedness of a group like 318, and I think that's where we're gonna kind of find them and kind of bring them all together to continue to grow this movement.
I think that'd be really cool. I think we'd enjoy it, and I think like it'd be very beneficial for us as well.
Yeah, because I'm stoked on the video recently.
Yeah,
and the feedback we've got.
it's really cool, bro.
We've had about 7 people today join the 318 group. It's just amazing. God's working in mysterious ways, but He's just working in the coolest ways.
I remember we'd be excited for like 7 in like 2 months.
Yeah.
We're like, bro, how are we gonna get like 8
Yeah.
in 2 months? And the next thing you know, we got 7 in one day.
One day from one video.
Yeah.
God's amazing. That's
really cool.
And that's the thing that content can do for people. Like, we're not professionals, but I think just showing the process has always been my favorite thing about content. And that's where like I really try to hone my skill in to be super specific on, okay, you make content, what kind of content you make. It's the process content. So from beginning to end, I want to get everything in between that, because in between that is the funnest part.
Yeah.
So like the Bible studies, the in between from beginning to end is the funnest part. Junk removal. The middle, the us pulling up the rugs from the yard, the cutting down trees, the everything. That's in the middle. That's not a finished job, you know? And then same with like the sharpening sessions and everything like that. I truly find like joy in showing people the process of what we do.
Yeah.
So that's how I.
And you're really good at it too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think I encourage a lot of people to definitely start making content. Content's definitely going to be around even long after we're dead, and I think it's a great opportunity to, especially now we're kind of locking more into sharing God's kingdom, showing God's kingdom, advancing God's kingdom through content creation. And He can use every single one of us that has a phone, has a mouth, has ears, has eyes, has everything you need to share a story, to do that. And content is kind of shifted now to where it doesn't matter about your followers. Every video is going to be treated the same as someone with no followers, someone with 100,000 followers. That video is good and it's engaging and it hits an emotional aspect. It's informative or it's it's either informative or entertaining. That video will blow up. Or I don't want to say blow up, but that video will reach, a lot of people. And so it's just really cool to see that a Bible study can reach 5,000 people. Like, that's amazing. Like, when you think of it like that, like,
it's crazy.
Just 30 seconds of our 1 hour Bible study reached 5,000 people and counting. Like that's amazing. That's what we have at our fingertips, and that's why, I truly love. I think content's amazing, but it can definitely catch you in the wave of doom scrolling and becoming a consumer rather than a creator.
Yeah.
So God calls us to create, not to consume. So, but since we are speaking a little bit about consuming, I do have a question to ask you related to something that we both consume, aka anime. Shout out to One Piece. Sorry, I've been locked on watching. I've been consuming clips of Solo Leveling recently because I just forgot how hard that show is. It's just pure dominance by Jinwoo, and I absolutely love. That's like one of my favorite characters of all time. But I know you're a One Piece guy. We're both One Piece guys, but One Piece is your life, and I want to ask you, from your opinion, who is the greatest villain in One Piece of all time, or where you're at right now?
Like my favorite villain?
Yeah, so like favorite villain is in like the most evil of evil. Like when you look at villain, the definition of villain is evil,
No.
Causing terror, just like
Just an evil guy.
just a guy, but he's not just evil, but he's powerful.
Yeah.
He's manipulative. He's able to just just obliterate anybody in the way,
Yeah.
and that's what makes fighting it so incredible. Who is it?
Have you? I don't want to give you a spoiler.
You can give me a spoiler because I'm gonna get there.
You're gonna get there.
I'm gonna get
I
there.
don't know where you're at in the anime.
Because when I see him, I'm gonna be like, "Dang, this is my boy's favorite villain."
Have you seen Doflamingo yet?
So Doflamingo, was there a clip where he obliterated like some some villagers at one point early in the beginning?
Of him just destroying villagers.
Like he killed all of them. Like they were all
He's done some menacing stuff, so he's that isn't something he wouldn't do.
okay.
Like he's like that. He's just pure evil. Like there's no reason for him to be just evil. He's just an evil guy. Like he thinks being evil like that is like him being free. That's his idea of freedom.
His idea of freedom is being evil.
Just being an evil guy. He's just evil, dude. He's pure evil. Like there's villains who have like a reason for what they're doing. You know what I mean? This guy he's just doing it just it's his character. It's him.
So that's his way of expressing himself is by being evil.
Pretty much, this guy has enslaved the whole entire island, and his is like the string fruit. So
the string fruit,
and actually it's super strong.
But
can
you break that down for
me? He can basically control you with strings.
That's insane. Wait,
but the strings are so like invisible and just so crazy. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's insane what he can do with them. That he can make them like super sharp. He can like cut you with them, slice you up. But he can control his people of his little kingdom with the. He basically turns them to little puppet like toys.
Dang, that's crazy.
Like he can control you right now with his hand, like with his little fingers.
So he doesn't have to. He could either slice you in a billion pieces.
Yeah, he could just do it.
Or he can control you.
And he can control. He could do pretty much.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's really cool what he can do with the string fruit. But he killed his. he killed his father.
When did he eat it?
Did he eat that fruit?
Yeah, when did he have the fruit?
Oh,
like when was the time?
The fruit. I just know he was like a noble, so he belonged to like the higher up people or whatever.
Okay, royalty.
Yeah, royalty. Yeah. Like like the there's like the celestial dragons, and there's like and then there's peasants.
Yep.
Pretty much, he belonged to that upper class. His dad ended up leaving from there with him and his son because he didn't want to be a part of that. And they end up like trying to kill him. They get free. Doflamingo kills everyone. He has a brother too. He ends up killing his dad because he's mad that he like made him. He ruined his life, and so then he just turns pure evil after that, dude. He gets his little gang, and he just goes around.
He goes on a rampage. So he goes on a crew. So it's like a crew like Luffy's crew.
Yeah, it's Doflamingo.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like they're the what are they called? The Doflamingo. That's the name of his crew. I forgot what the pirates.
Oh.
Forgot the name of his pirates. They're like Doflamingo pirates, I'm sure.
And when do they come? Do you know when you first see them?
Like what arc?
Yeah.
Where are you at right now?
Golly, that's a good question.
Were you at the war? Did you already see Ace die?
Yes.
Oh, he was there.
Okay. But was he standing up there?
He was a warlord.
Yeah, he's a warlord.
So he's like the dude with the pink coat.
Yes.
in the sunglasses.
Okay, that sound because I was
It's
gonna
him.
say I think I've seen him before.
He's like a just manipulative. He's just the worst of the worst kind of people around.
And that's your favorite? Like that's like
He's just such a good villain though.
he's a good
And
villain.
his character is cool. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Is there any sort of like development in him, or does he just stay evil the whole time?
Yeah, he doesn't. He's just evil.
He doesn't
from the
break.
jump. No, he just doesn't. Like you think he's gonna do. Oh no, he's just horrible.
For the
Law.
well, we pulled him from the thing. I don't.
You don't know who Law is.
Is Law part of Shank's crew?
No, Law's his own crew.
Okay, no, I don't know Law
Yeah,
then.
he's his own pirate crew.
No.
But oh, so you don't know too much. But anyways, pretty much Law.
Yeah.
Was he has a brother named Doflamingo has a brother, Corazon,
Okay.
and he pretty much takes like Law under his wing or whatever. Law's about to die. He has like the sickness, whatever, and they're trying to get this fruit, and it's like it's Law's fruit. Dang, I can't think of the name of the fruit right now. But anyways, Law's fruit, it could pretty much like it pretty much can give you like immortality kind of. You can kind of, the idea is like you can maybe live forever, but you basically just like a surgeon type of doctor type or whatever. And they're gonna go in and to get it, and what's it called? They figure out they're gonna do it or whatever. Doflamingo ends up killing Corazon or whatever.
His brother, his own brother.
Yeah, he kills his brother.
He kills his own brother.
But it's because he
like
did.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah, but he killed his brother because he did betray him. But it's because his brother was also a Navy. He was working with the Navy the entire time.
But I thought
So he was a
warlords were
Marine.
too.
No, so he was a Marine. Like he was an undercover Marine. The warlords are different. The warlords are kind of like
they're above the Marines.
No, they're not. They're not Marines. They're not Marines. They're basically like, you're a bad guy pirate. So like I'm going to have you kind of work with me. And
Contracted.
We kind of leave you alone.
Got you.
But the reason why they do that is because they're kind of using them as like a way to keep the pirates in check. You know what I'm saying?
Paid heads, basically. Like I'm paying you to kill any of these other pirates that are bothering the Marines.
Kind of, pretty much, yeah.
And you don't kill us because you're getting paper.
Yeah, you do your thing.
You do your thing. We do our thing.
We won't mess with you.
But
you work for us.
Yeah.
Like so they know, like those guys, those like warlords, they know that like they. Like most of them, they really don't care about the government. Like they're all still shady guys.
Yeah.
So like they'll screw them over any chance they get. But
Right.
like they it's like just being like they take the advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like why not get paid?
The Marines are not gonna mess with you. I don't think they're
Yeah.
necessarily getting paid, but it's kind of like we won't mess with you. We'll let you just chill on your island and do the evil you want to do. Yeah.
And
So Doflamingo was a Marine. This dude, his brother, was an actual Marine undercover, working with the Marines, trying to take his brother out.
Oh, so he was trying to kill his brother. Do you think he was trying to kill his brother because his brother killed his dad? Because Doflamingo killed his dad, which was...
I don't think necessarily he was trying to kill his brother.
Or just turn him in?
He knew that kind of animal his brother was.
Gotcha.
His brother was just evil, dude.
Ah.
He was an evil guy.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So the brother has justice and, like, I got to take him down because he's just too evil for the world.
Yeah, pretty like he just wanted to. Yeah. So he ends up, like, doing that, and then Doflamingo finds out, kills him, offs him. And then, yeah, it's sad. Just evil guy.
Do you know the clips? Like, I would like to pull clips from this, or at least watch the episode of it.
I can show you the episodes. I don't know them off the top of the
Okay.
head, but I can definitely tell them I do know them.
You have to show me because that
sad,
sounds
too.
insane.
Yeah, dude. Like whenever Luffy fights him, it's really cool.
Luffy gets to fight him?
Yeah, Luffy takes him out. In Gear 4.
See,
I've
only seen Gear. I've seen Gear 2 where he like yeah, I've seen Gear 2. I want to say I might have seen Gear 3, but so he has the X on his chest. Is that Gear 3 yet? When he first kind of gets it, like I know he didn't have it for Gear 2. Maybe he did.
But like the X on his chest doesn't like.
No, it's just a scar.
Yeah, it's just a scar.
Yeah.
I forgot where he got that actually.
Because
Gear 4,
as of right now, everybody's come back stronger. Like everybody met. Usopp doesn't look like a scrub no more. Sanji's like, I've learned some things. Zoro's like, I've learned some things. Robin and they all got separated again.
Dude,
and then
it's been so long since I watched. I could be
okay,
wrong,
and so
but I'm pretty sure the first time he goes Gear 4 is fighting Doflamingo.
Okay,
I could be wrong though.
Because right now I'm at the part where they're like at the island, but then there's like the trader, like pirate, straw hat gang where they're all like fat.
They look like them.
They look like them.
Yeah.
And then they just get cooked by them.
Yeah.
I'm at that part.
Yeah. So you got a little ways, but yeah, you're almost there.
Okay.
But yeah, Gear 4.
Doflamingo.
Doflamingo. Just watch out for him.
So the greatest villain of all time.
I think a lot of people would agree with this too. Like he's just horrible, bro.
I can't
He's
wait.
just a horrible guy.
I can't wait to
And he's
ask
still
the
alive
people.
too. Like when they took him out, we still don't know. Like he's gonna come back.
I just feel like every villain they've defeated is not dead, because Crocodile came back. Freaking like especially when the whole thing with Ace, like all the villains are still there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But those villains, well, I don't know, bro. There's a reason why if the villain didn't die, because one thing I'm seeing is like some villains do die,
okay,
and you know that they die because it's like it's more like there's no like they're not gonna come back. They're not gonna. They're done. You know what I mean?
like that.
They're part of the. They were such a big part of
Mm,
like they needed to get rid of these people, to where like they were
it
just
hurts,
such
like
of a burden. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
so like they had to get rid of them,
Okay.
and once they do, it's like okay, cool. But they're dead. But as far as like there's a reason why like Doflamingo still is alive. I feel there's a reason why like Gecko Moria is still well, which is kind of cool. There's something that was like kind of revealed about him. I don't know if you want me to tell you about that.
I don't know Gecko Moria yet.
Yeah, you saw him.
Which one is he?
He was the dude to where he had like the zombies.
Oh gosh, that was hard to watch. That dude, I thought they were never gonna win. That arc felt like forever.
So him, there's just so much
Because he controls the shadows.
he controls it. But like the cool thing about him is we find out recently, but it's more in the manga. But like he's like a I don't know.
You gotta say it now, dude. Everyone's listening.
Like he's like a Kazuki. He's basically like he's from the land of Wano,
Which is
which you haven't seen.
okay. Okay. There's some stuff that I won't understand, but I do know that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's cool. So what I'm saying is like they keep them around because they're gonna have a purpose later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I definitely feel a lot of these guys like freaking like Crocodile. He's right now he's like doing his thing. He has like a big role or not. I don't know if it's like a big role, but he's still in it. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
the purpose of keeping them around is gonna be bigger than.
We just don't know yet.
Yeah, we just don't know yet.
Like the people that die, like the villains that die, that's just because they die. That's just they have to be removed for the story to go forward. Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, you want to talk about MMA?
Yeah, we can kind of get into it. I know you've been asking me this question, so let's get into it.
Well, I want to ask this question because I also want to know the difference between the two.
Okay.
So
that's
like
fair.
if you were gonna pick like a martial arts to start out with, like as your based,
Okay.
would you go for either jiu-jitsu or wrestling? And like what are the big differences in between the two? Because they're both kind of like when you see a wrestling match, you know what I mean, and then you see like a jiu-jitsu match, they look pretty similar, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I know there's a difference.
Yeah.
But what would you say would be your choice, like to pick?
That's a really good question. I think, especially if you get to start young, wrestling for sure. We're in our late 20s, early 30s.
Chill out,
So
bro.
like,
Late 20s. Crazy.
you're late 20s, bro.
I'm
You're late.
26, bro.
You're late 20s. Anything over 25 is late.
You're a grown man at that point.
Yeah.
Dang.
Exactly. And I'm just a grown man. But I think, especially starting off jiu-jitsu, I think it's been about an entire year now that I've, put the gi on and started training. Jiu-jitsu, essentially, I guess from my point of view, is like being able to be uncomfortable, get out of it, and just submit. Like, basically, like, take the life from a person. You can break their ligaments, break their bones, choke them out. In wrestling, you get your focus is dominant positioning to control. Like your objective is to control them to where you can do whatever you want from that point. But in wrestling, it's points, and you can't do submissions. Basically, in wrestling, it's just pinning, right? So my objective is to get you and pin you, shoulder on the ground, pin. That means I dominated you with my controlling what you do. Jiu-jitsu, yes, obviously there's points for controlling positions like top like mount, side control, taking the back, all those things. But jujitsu, you're finishing the match. Like that's what you're getting taught is how to how to end the game. Um, and so I think if you put both of them together, you're super deadly. But specifically for martial arts, like if you wanted to go to into MMA, or you just wanted to have a strong base to then do anything, I think wrestling is going to be ideal just because of the cardio, just because of the training, the mindset, everything that you're going through, the athletic ability you gain. Like jujitsu, you don't necessarily need to be an athlete to
To
be
do.
dominant. Um, However, if you are an athlete in jujitsu, you learn sort of like the objectives for each kind of pass, every sort of sequence. And so I think if you have that sort of wrestling background, you're able to learn that a lot faster. Like I've seen wrestlers get into it, and by like two years, they're a purple belt, which is insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's because they know exactly how to control the body.
There's no belts in wrestling, right?
No. Um, and so like you can control the body. Now you're gonna finish them. So like you're learning the finishes essentially, and the calmness of being in those dominant positions on the opposite side, where you're like in a half Nelson or in one of those things that you're not used to finishing. How to get out of that, and I'm sure wrestling teaches that too. But I think for jujitsu, it's more of just the patience and the calmness. But like wrestling and jujitsu have such similar like weight distribution focuses and things like that. But wrestling really, you just gain a lot of athleticism. Like I don't know if you've seen like when you're starting on the feet like that, and you see all the sort of takedowns the entries that they do. It's so cool and athletic, and a lot of jujitsu guys have judo bases
Mm.
where they get used to the clinch, and then either they're flipping, tripping, doing something. But wrestling, it's just like I don't know how else to explain it other than like takedowns. Like you're just actively hunting. That's how I describe
It
wrestling.
seems more aggressive too.
Yeah, it's more
I
aggressive
would say than jiu-jitsu.
for sure.
Um,
You watch a wrestling match and a jiu-jitsu match, like wrestling, they're just fighting. They're boom, boom, they're getting away, boom, boom. Jiu-jitsu, they're like, okay, once they've intertwined,
more strategic.
it's strategic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And not saying that wrestling isn't strategic, but you definitely have to have,
I see what you mean by like athletic ability. Like
yeah.
it's like if you're physically stronger than someone, you have more an advantage
Mm-hmm.
in wrestling than like in jiu-jitsu because I can be physically stronger than someone and still get choked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what you mean.
Yeah. And then there's, I personally think like what I like at Texas Made is like we do focus. We don't just skip the wrestling aspect or like the takedown aspect or like standing up aspect. Because jiu-jitsu, you could essentially start, sitting down.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. But what's cool is you kind of blend everything in together in that class because there's people from all backgrounds like judo, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling. And those wrestling guys are like crazy strong on their necks. Man, to move around, like there was one drill where like you pop your head, like you're laying on your back, and then you pop your hips up, you pop your head back, so now your neck is like you're on your head and you're spinning around, and and you're turning your body while you're spinning, and those wrestling guys do it so easy, and the jiu-jitsu guys like I don't need to do this, like
What are you
but
doing, man?
yeah, but that's the advantage that wrestlers have, and
Yeah.
and you put that wrestling cardio and that wrestling just like fearlessness in with striking. Like, dude, now you're telling me all I got to do is take this guy down, take control because I know how to control their body, and then I just pound on them. You don't really need to learn a lot in striking if you're getting to that point of just ground and pound and then just letting it on them. I mean, it's vicious.
Yeah.
It's really vicious. But watching wrestlers strike, especially in the beginning, it's pretty funny. I don't have any background from anything. Like I started with the football background, but it didn't teach you it. The only thing it had was like an ego thing of like don't tap.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I had, and just kind of like I knew how to do some double leg takedowns, but there was no like wrestling background. Because wrestlers, you can do okay when on your first day in jiu-jitsu, I think. But anything else, it's a day for you in jiu-jitsu.
You get injured when you don't tap, dude.
Yeah,
Mm.
get injured a lot. So, what is it? Advice for the day, the takeaway for the day is just tap, bro. Just reset, regroup. If you're feeling like this isn't a good spot and you can't think of a way to get out of it, you don't know how to get out of it, just tap, reset. Nobody cares. Do it. Like since being back after I tore my chest, I tap so much faster now.
Really?
And if I get into that position where I'm like, damn, he got me, cool, let's reset. And guess what? No injuries. I never did that. I was
Before
always
you
like,
would be like, I'm gonna go, like, you're not
there's
gonna
a way
choke
to
me
get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. But it always feels like there's a way too, right?
Because there is a way.
Yeah.
But I just don't know it. Or
Just
if I
don't know,
turn
yeah.
the wrong way, it doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And then also too, if you get put in that position by someone who knows more than you, like if they wanted to just rip your stuff, they could just.
and
like,
some of them
just
on a
kick it.
bad day do.
Yeah.
They don't mean to, but
especially if you don't tap
yeah,
and you're just trying to give it to them still.
Yeah.
They're just like, bro, come on, like you're dead.
yeah.
Like I got you.
I'm- I can say like as a white belt, knowing where I'm at the end of my like white belt rank, like I know I'm getting closer to just understanding jiu-jitsu as a whole, but like being a good training partner is about showing good looks, trying stuff that you're learning, working on things that you're not good at, focusing on the strengths that you have, but allowing that other partner to work as well. Like you have to have a sense of like where is this person in their walk.
Yeah.
And like for me, like last week training with like these two younger kids that are the same belt rank as me, but they're younger.
Yeah.
Like of course I'm not going to like obliterate them with takedowns and things like that. It's like no, instead if they're going to ask, then I can kind of like teach them where they're like you just read them, right? So if they're like talking like, hey, how do you go from here to here, then it's like, oh, this is what I do. I don't know if it is real, like if it's what you're supposed to do, but this is what I do. But realistically, you're just like, I know not to go as hard, I know not to like force the takedown a little bit more or squeeze a little bit. It's kind of just like, hey, I've got you in this position, can you get out of it?
Yeah.
And just being, it's just a lighter game of chess match. And like today, we had a kickboxing session, and I've done a lot more kickboxing than the guy I was like training with. But when we got to the light sparring, I could tell he wanted to light spar because I could tell he's just like, I want to get used to just getting hit. And he told me that. He made it very, very aware. And I was like, cool. But I know not to hit you as hard as I can. That's silly. Like having control is just as good as being able to obliterate someone. Because if I can have control, then I can control the pace. I can make sure that person is learning. I can make sure I'm learning as well, because then I can focus on maybe things I'm struggling with, And so it was just amazing because we got a great sweat in. We did a 1 minute, or we did a 1-round 7-minute session, like at the end of the training. So like a light sparring session for 7 minutes. And yeah, it was great. He got some good shots in. I got some good shots in.
That's kicking and punching.
Kicking and punching.
When are y'all gonna do that again?
Well, if you go to Texas Made Jiu-Jitsu, starting in November, they're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, from what I'm told. But for us, we have our own little session on Mondays at 3:30. So if you want to come,
don't take it easy on me either.
But that's the thing, like you want to feel it for sure, but you also want to know, like, okay, I want to know what it feels like to get hit, because some people think like if I block, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. No, it hurts. Yeah. It just doesn't hurt as much. Yeah. But then you just start seeing everything, especially when you throw kicks in. Like you're watching the hands, and little do you know, like, okay, did he finish? No, he just threw a kick out of nowhere. Yeah. And it's just amazing, bro. And so this is what leads into my next thing, because I had so much fun, sort of like, I don't want to say I coached him. I just kind of like led the training session. Mm-hmm. Do you think a coach's credibility or a coach's ability to, like, you're like, hey, I want to get coached by you. Do you think they have to have competitive fights in order to coach you? So, like, let's say, for example, for me, I have never competed in a fight as far as like competitiveness. Like, every time I've signed up for a jujitsu match, when I've gone, balls to the wall, I've gotten hurt the day before, the week before, whatever. But as far as like kickboxing, jujitsu, if I were to coach you, if I would be like, hey, can I coach you? What would you look at as a student to the coach to be like, hey, this guy's credible for me to be like, yes, I'm gonna take time out of my day to learn from you.
I think like in anything, right? This is just goes for anything, not just this. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you know more than me, you can get me. Like if I find like that what you're doing is, and I see what you're doing, and I'm like, okay, I like where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you're like a pro coach or you're just a white belt with 5 stripes or whatever. You're
4 stripes.
further than me. 4 stripes, but
I'm
you're
sorry,
you're
sorry.
further than
Don't
me.
get it.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I'm no stripes.
Yeah.
So like I can gain knowledge from you, as far as like me wanting to get better.
Yeah.
So like I could definitely see you coaching me,
Yeah.
because you know what I mean, like as far as that goes, and then just in as far as like kickboxing too. You know what I mean? You've done more in that than me, so I would want the knowledge you have, at least to get me to where you are, right? But as far as like me, like if I was gonna become a pro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can probably get to me. You could get me to where you're at. You know what I mean?
But I'm not gonna be
But you're
good.
not gonna get me
Yeah.
to the next level. So I think that
Exactly.
goes as far as like where, and then there may be just something that you're really good at.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that is like punches, or say, let's say you're really good at like at a punch or something. Maybe you can teach me that. You know what I mean? Because like we're all kind of different, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
like one person is gonna pick up something better than the other, and one person may be better than the other in something. So I think it goes as far as like if people have more knowledge than you in something, I don't mind getting coached by them. Like I don't. I think that's just like in anything, you know.
I think that's a really cool way that you put it,
Yeah.
because I always looked at, and this might have been an internal thing for me and an insecurity for me, is like I always have a desire to, like, not necessarily, I guess, yeah, it's like to coach, to be there, and like I want to seriously like watch the way that you throw the punch, you throw the kick, you do something, and from what I've learned, like you said, the more knowledge I have based from you or whoever it is, it's like I can get you to the level that I'm at,
Yeah.
which is better than the level you're at, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a special place in my heart ever since I finished playing college football. Was like I gave back immediately, like the next year I coached high school. And I knew that
Like you coached high school
I
football?
coach high school football, yeah.
Oh, that's
And
sick.
at Stanwood High School in Seattle. Shout out Stanwood. Um but yeah, dude, it was a
You're the head
2 hour.
coach?
No. I was a positions coach.
Nice.
So I coached the defensive backs and wide receivers. And as a defensive back, I had the credentials of playing college football. So
Mhm.
I knew that I could coach those guys
Yeah.
in high school because I got to the level of college.
Yeah.
And so I knew, like, okay, I can get you to college. After that, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I always had that level, that like spot in my heart to like do something active, but like be there coaching more to just inspire, encourage, and equip you with like the skills that I've learned, so that you can do something completely different than what I do.
Yeah.
You can kind of be your own person with it, but you have the ability and knowledge of how to do the fundamentals or these specific things that helped me get to where I was at. And then the only difference now that I started to see was like, dang, I don't know if I could coach, especially in like jujitsu or like kickboxing, because I would love to coach in either of them. But then looking at it as like I'm only a 4 stripe white belt, or I have no kickboxing matches, would anybody take me like serious? And I guess that's just a sense of like being transparent of where I'm at. But like what brings me back to is like the Harper's kids, they've seen the videos and things, and they ask like, hey, can you coach me? Can you train me? And then they ask like, how many fights have you been in? Like, how many fights have you won? How many fights have you lost? What's your record? And I'm like, I don't have a record.
But
Like,
for them, you could definitely teach them, because you
yeah,
do know a
yeah,
lot. You know what I mean?
yeah. And
Yeah.
so I think it's just that part of me is like, do I have to get on that competitive edge, just competitive like platform to just say I did it? So now that's even more credible than where I'm at now? Or could I just train my whole life, level up in the belts, sure, on the jujitsu side, but kickboxing wise, just continue to train and then give back in that sort of way? I don't know. But you answered it. You answered it pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that.
So whenever I was cutting hair, I didn't feel like I was like really that good yet.
Yeah.
And the owner of the barbershop that I was working at, he kind of like put me in a position where I had to like train somebody how to cut hair.
Yeah.
And he did not like doing that at all.
Really?
But it really helped me because he would always tell me, this was like really cool, was like, you don't need to get them to be like, you just got to get them to where you're at, because where you're at is a good place. So if you can get them to where you're at, we're good. And so that's kind of what I always thought about. Like, I still don't think I'm the best at cutting hair. I don't think I'm this or
You're
that.
pretty dang good.
But I'm saying, like,
You're
for me,
cool.
as far as that goes, I
Yeah.
really wanted to, like, it just kind of helped me think of things that way. So we're like, okay, I may not be cutting as long as a lot of the guys here, because, a lot of the guys were cutting for, like, like 10 plus years, some of them, you know what I mean? So, like, there was really good guys.
They
at the
have like
barbershop.
those credentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they helped train me.
Yeah.
And they were help training other people at the barbershop. So, like, that's kind of the shop I was at. And so whenever they did that to me, I was just kind of like, I just kind of always had that in my head. It's like, I don't have to get them to be better than, well, like, I can get them to be where I'm at. That's a good spot. Because, so then
Yeah.
I just kind of always had that in mind,
That's really cool.
It kind of helped me as far as like that, like just being like a help, like a trainer, I guess.
Yeah. Like like you're just coaching
Coaching them as best
mentor.
I could. Yeah. You could teach them what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That was the question I had. That you answered that really cool. That was exciting. I mean it doesn't necessarily lead into the next question we have, but we did get to read 13 chapters of Moses.
Exodus.
I know. Yeah, well, Exodus, the story of Moses in Exodus.
Yeah.
The first 13 chapters in Exodus, and the story as a whole, you knew the story of Moses as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I really only ever knew about the plagues.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really cool because I'm like in the beginning stage. I read the first 13 chapters. You know more than after the 13 chapters. And we decided on the objective topic of perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think perseverance is one of my favorite words of all time. It holds dearly to my heart. Perseverance is to be able to do something no matter how difficult it is or how delayed achieving success is. That's perseverance, is just continuing to going when you see no grass growing, you see nothing. You just continue to go in hopes that there's going to be something on that other side. And in this book of Moses, well, the first 13 chapters, so you could say part 1 of what we're learning. Before we get into it, when like if you can reflect now on when was a hard season? I should phrase this better. When has God used a hard season in your life to build you? So when has God used those long valleys to just build you up for, whether it's achieving something or just preparing for something in general?
So, the summer of 2017, I was supposed to graduate from high school.
Okay.
All my friends graduated already, and it was just that summer of just like, I still had to go to school, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But I had just kind of given up.
Yeah.
And
were you graduating with them though still? Did they still let you graduate?
No, like I wasn't, like I just like I just kind of just gave up on school.
Okay.
For the whole summer. But like I did end up graduating still in 2017, but that was later on. But at this point it was like summer, it was like June 2017.
Yeah.
I was just doing some bad stuff. Ended up going to jail.
Wow.
I was 18. Oh.
Yeah,
I was 18.
Senior year, right?
No, dude, I was 17.
You're 17?
I was 17.
Are you 2000 baby? Were you born in 2000?
I was born in 1998. 2017, how old is that?
Bro, you're like 19.
I'm 18.
You're 18.
Is that 18? I'm confused.
1998. 1999 is 1.
Well, my birthday's in November.
Okay.
So I was turning 19 that November.
Okay, so you were 18.
Yeah. So I was
And you were
18.
turning 19
Yeah.
that
So, but I
November.
was supposed to graduate in that. I was supposed to graduate
Before
that year.
that.
Yeah, I was supposed to graduate in 2017.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah. So I was 18. They ended up going to jail.
For what?
Weed.
Okay.
We were driving in my friend's car.
Yeah.
We were like selling weed, just selling drugs, just being stupid.
Yeah.
And we were driving in a car that had like no tag,
Oh, you were risking it.
no insurance,
Nothing.
no nothing. We get pulled over, and the cops like, "Is there anything in this car?" And of course, we're like, "No, knowing dang well there's like a bunch of stuff in the car." But yeah, we ended up going to jail for that. I realized immediately jail was not for me.
Yeah.
Like I realized that I thought I was like the hardest kid. I was like, man, like I thought I was so gangster. I thought I was so cool. I thought that, like, you know, I was gonna fight anyone who tried to test me. I get on the phone to call my mom, and I'm calling her. I'm talking to her on the phone, and this dude, I just remember there being like a little payphone, like a bunch of little payphones, right? And I'm talking on the phone, and this guy's like, I don't know if I guess it was his turn to talk. This guy's small. He's a small little guy, and he's going to each phone. I guess it's not working for him. And then he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, let me get that phone." I'm like, "No, get away from me. I'm talking to my mom. Leave me alone." And he's just like, "No, like give me that phone. Like you need to get that phone." I said, "Dude, get away from me, bro. Like why are you trying to fight me over this phone?" And I had no idea he was like taking it that serious, and I was just frustrated and upset that I was in this situation. So I just start arguing with him, and I'm talking to my mom, like, "Mom, you gotta come get me. I promise I'll be good. I'll get my life right. I'm not built for this. Just come and get me, please."
Yeah.
And so I'm doing that, and this guy's just like still, and I'm like at this point, I'm just like so locked in talking to my mom. He's like pressing me and just like really trying to do that. And I just remember the cop saying like, "Hey, cut it out," and I'm like just ignoring them, you know.
Yeah.
And I just remember like they say, cut it out, and then I'm not really paying attention to him. And I guess they get mad at me for that because I wasn't. But I was like, bro, it's this guy. Like I was like, bro, I gotta tell my mom she got to come get me because I do not want to be in here 1 minute longer than I have to. So I was like, "Mom, please." So yeah, dude, I'm just talking to him, and then the cop ends up coming down. I said, "Sit down," like screams at me, and I'm like, "Mom, I gotta go." So like I hang up. I end up just sitting down. I ended up going to like back, and they ended up like checking me. It was really, really horrible. They had to like, you know, you have to get naked and stuff. And
oh, you had to do that?
well, yeah, because when you get caught during that time, weed was a lot bigger deal than it is now.
Right.
And what did I have to? I had to do like that bend over thing. It was horrible.
Yeah. Hold on. So you had to do like the cough or like
yeah, you had to do the cough and like I'm pretty sure
that's crazy.
they had to see me like because they need to
Naked.
check to see if you don't have
and
anything.
you spread them.
And they told me too on that day. They were like, every single day, like if you ever get pulled over from now on, like they have every right to like full on check you because you got pulled over for this. You know what I mean?
Oh, because it's on your record.
Yeah. So I remember that. So I was already like thinking about that. You know.
Yeah.
But anyways, that ended up happening. I didn't have to go to the. I remember like because me and my friend got locked up. And my friend, he had to go to the back. And I remember I was like, "I'm sorry, bro. Like this is where we go." Because like I found out that my mom had like immediately went and bailed me out.
Oh.
But they just left me there. I don't know why they left me there.
To like teach you a lesson.
Maybe they just just left me there for like I was there for 17 hours. I remember it.
Oh my god.
Just sitting there, bro, on a chair.
17 hours.
Like, not having no idea what was gonna happen. I just remember just thinking like, bro, this is crazy. Like I'm just sitting down right now. But yeah, I was just I
was
just
17. Well, you were 18, so you were legally able to get locked up in. Like you didn't go to It wasn't like it was like straight up
No, it was
jail.
real jail. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't have to go to the back with like I didn't have to like put on the suit and do all that.
But your boy did?
My boy did. I felt bad for him, yeah. But he not to say jail's cool or whatever, but like when I remember later talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, dude, it's cool. We were just playing basketball back there."
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that he said, "Yeah, it's cool." That's insane.
He said it wasn't scary at all. I was like, "All right, cool." But yeah, it was kind of weird just seeing like all my friends there, like people that I knew, just sitting down at the tables, like in the chairs too. Like they had all got locked up for other reasons.
Oh wow, okay.
It was crazy, bro. It was a weird situation. But I remember after that, I kind of just went home. I was like, dang, like there was no like nothing. It was like I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. Like this was, I don't know. I remember I was working at I was just working like oddball jobs.
Mhm.
Like I would work with my mom's boyfriend at the time, like doing painting. We'd go paint houses and stuff.
Yeah.
I would just work with my grandpa sometimes just to go do with him. I was just doing weird things, to make money, but I wasn't having a job, and I didn't have like any like goal or future of how I
Right.
was gonna go.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it was just really really sucks. And then yeah, my dad ended up saying, "You're gonna come down here." I finished school. I graduated that December, so it was still 2018
Yeah.
or 2017, but it was like,
But you were 19.
and I was 18. Oh, I was 19. Yeah, when I
Yeah.
graduated. Yeah, yeah.
So you said, so at that point you realized you weren't doing anything fulfilling for you.
At all.
But what did that teach you about essentially what did that season teach you about yourself? Like you realized you weren't doing anything fulfilling to you, but like did anything come out of you of like this is what I want to do? Or like
I realized I didn't want that. Like
okay.
that path. I guess that's like kind of like, I guess other than like dying, I guess that's as real as it kind of gets,
Yeah.
I was having friends get in trouble for like some serious stuff, and I just
Like higher level.
that's where I was kind of going.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't get him. I didn't like. Luckily, you know what I mean. I got in trouble for like the little thing,
Right.
because there was other things I was doing that I could have gotten in trouble for.
Right.
That like God that I didn't,
Mhm.
because that would have been serious time, and I would have went to I need to go to jail that time to
Yeah.
realize I am not built for this.
Yeah.
This is not me. So I don't want to do this again. Even though it was a really dark time during that whole process, because I just kind of gave up. There was a lot of stuff happening at home that I wasn't happy with, and I just there was no hope. You see no hope around you,
Right.
and there's just you just give up. It's like, what's
Yeah.
the point? And but then I kind of moved back to San Antonio. I started working at Chick-fil-A, and yeah, dude, I just you start to see that hope. You know what I mean? When I graduated high school, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially because I had already had it in my head that wasn't something I was gonna do. That it
And you
just
did
wasn't
it.
in my books. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out other ways to do things, and end up doing that. And yeah, dude, it just kind of got like I started having that like just faith, to something. That there was more than this of where I was going through, and yeah, I got closer to God. Over time, it's kind of built to where I'm at now. If I wouldn't have went to those things, I wouldn't have been as like, I definitely wouldn't be the same Nate I am here today.
Yeah.
Because if I would have went a different route, I would have definitely have been different. And yeah, for sure. Still had a lot of growing process to get to where I'm at today. But during those dark times, like during that time, I was just a different person. And
So would you say that the move down to San Antonio with your dad was like the pivotal moment of you now going into that direction of hope?
oh yeah,
Was that move? Like leaving Lubbock overall was just
big time.
what you needed.
Yeah.
Getting, it sounds like a stable job at Chick-fil-A. Like I'm sure that they treat their employees well.
Yeah.
Sure you get paid reasonably. And then would you say as you start to see those things kind of like build a foundation, did that lead to like, would you say that started shaping your faith? Like pushing you more into like better communities, better people, like being
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Because just being back home, it was around the same thing. Like it's a small place. Everybody knows. Like majority of people know everyone. And it's just, I don't know. It's just like you get stuck doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And for me, that wasn't good
Yeah.
at all. So moving out of that environment and just kind of being somewhere else where I didn't really know anyone,
Mm-hmm.
just being away, and then just like I had a friend who got me into church,
Yeah.
and just being in like learning more about Jesus, and then just being able to just kind of find like a future.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of upsetting. I wanted to become a cop, and I found out like I can't become a cop until like that was like that was my nesting out of high school.
Yeah.
I couldn't become a cop until like 10 years after that
Dang.
charge. So I was 18 at that time.
But you
So
got
like I
10
had
more
to
years.
wait till I was like 28 to
Yeah.
become a cop. So that was very kind of sucky too, because I didn't want to work at Chick-fil-A forever,
Yeah.
and I was just trying to find different things. And then I don't know, I'm here now, and just things are starting to it's just like slowly. It was just God was really just showing me to like, you know what I mean, like you had to go through those things because I wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
I would have kept like if I never got in trouble and I never went to jail at that time, I was on my way to doing crazier things, and
Yeah.
just being in like the mindset of the things I was around at that time, the people I was around, and things that I was seeing and that I was involved in. I couldn't see myself unless I left. I couldn't see myself getting out of that at all. It
Damn.
would have just got worse, way worse.
So that was real. So you went to jail at the right time
Yeah,
to then leave at the right time
definitely.
to be here at the right time.
Yeah, and I was
That's
never like
God
a,
time.
I was never like a leader. I was always a follower.
Hmm.
So like people would be afraid to do things, and I would always feel like I had to show out. So I would just
Interesting.
do them as
Okay.
well. Like I would be like you would say, like if you would see, you'd be like, oh, Nate's crazy. But it wasn't that I was crazy. It was just I felt like I had to like show, because I knew in my heart I wasn't this person. Felt
Yeah.
like I had to show more, that I was trying to show people that I was that kind of crazy person, you know. So that
Yeah.
kind of did lead me to do some pretty like kind of wild things, you know, that I just were very like not me, you know,
Yeah.
which could have led me to like getting in even more trouble too. So leaving that, leaving those people, leaving that environment, leaving those situations, it was definitely the best thing.
Well, because I can see how, just from knowing you and being around you, that perspective shift of the same sort of ability to just do it when everybody else is scared, like to use that in a good light. I will never forget when we went down the first time to give food to the homies, and we didn't want to just give the food to them. We wanted to pray for them. That was like that first bold act of faith, um, for us coming back from the Men of Iron. And I'll never forget you just taking the reins of like going to do it. And you just did it before any of us did. And once we saw that, we're like, oh my gosh, like okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
And then you by doing that led everybody else in that group to do it. And um it's just crazy to see how like God can take any person with those skill sets and those strengths, like you just being not necessarily the wild one, but the one to be like, guys, is like the fearless one. Now he took that from a bad time, turned it into using it for his kingdom, and now look at it like where we are.
Yeah.
So those acts of fearlessness that you kind of had growing up, now for good and good intention or God intention, has led to, you know, hundreds and thousands of people seeing God's kingdom, and that comes from you.
Yeah.
That's something that you should be proud of that sense of allowing the Holy Spirit to work with you and shift all your gifts and abilities to be used as a vessel in that aspect. So that's what's really cool to hear that story and then now relate it to what you're doing now.
Definitely.
That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard.
What
Actually.
about you, dude?
Um hard season. I mean, I know I talked a little bit about last week about just like finances in general, so I kind of want to take it back a little bit farther. And I would say one of the hardest seasons was just like seeing all my friends um go off to college, and like just high school was so much fun for me. Like we did reckless things, never fortunately never got caught for any of those things. Not fortunately, but I guess like it just led to us being reckless and having fun and being kids. Um but I always had dreams as a kid to play football, especially like in the NFL, but I never did anything to like work for it. I just thought like if you dream it, you can, like, it can happen. Um, and so to see all my friends go off to college because they took school a little bit more serious than I did, or took their sports a little bit more serious than I did, and I never started a game in high school. Um, I barely played, and to see everybody go and then me be like, dang, like I said to myself, I was gonna play, professional football. There's no way I'm doing that. And I remember even praying to God, because at the time I was, and I'm still saved, but I was saved, in middle school and elementary school, whatever. And I just remember asking God, like, if you let me start, I all of it's for you.
Yeah.
Like I remember being one of those guys being like, if you make me good at football, or if you help me be good at football, I promise like all this glory is for you. And like knowing what I know now, it's just silly because he's like God doesn't need me to advance his kingdom. He wants to use me, but he doesn't need me. And obviously my desire of what I wanted was more than what was actually going to advance the kingdom that I know now. But during that hard time was just trying to figure out like what I was going to do. And you just see everybody doing better, like especially with social media, you just see all the highlights.
Yeah.
And so my life was just like, I'm going to this community college. Still grateful for everything. I was fortunate enough to like still live with my mom, so I didn't have to pay rent. I got to make some money, got to save up money, got to go to community college, which was like a second chance of like, okay, just do school right this time. And at that time, they started like a football team. There was a very small football league in Seattle, and I just remember like all I did was train, and I just trained and trained and trained, and I continued to just get to the point of finally like getting an opportunity to play college football. And during that hard time of just like always being the smallest guy, the shortest, not the fastest, not the strongest, like whatever it was, there was always another way. And that's what I started to realize at the end is like if I do more reps than you, I'm going to get better. Um and so that's kind of what has led me to today's sort of work, like willingness to do it is like I know is what's required to get to that next level. Like for us to be a full-time thing, it's not just going to happen. Like obviously God can make it happen if he wants to,
Yeah.
but we have to be willing to plant the seeds and you know do the labor.
I do think it shows in the Bible, like like you have to put that work in. You have to show that you're willing to put that faith in Him,
Mhm.
and I mean, that's what that He's not just gonna give it to you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And obviously He can.
Yeah.
We all know He
But he
can.
makes it but that's the thing is like
We gotta show
if he
we're
just gives
faithful
it
as
to
well.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, if he gives it to you, what are you really going to do with it?
Yeah.
Like, I would say I've always been a hardworking guy after that point,
Yeah.
but even when I got the things I wanted, I still didn't do what I was supposed to do in that sense of advancing the kingdom.
Yeah.
I still did stuff for me,
Yeah.
and it took that long to finally be like, bro, put your hard work towards advancing the kingdom and not yourself.
Yeah.
And it's showing now. And so that was definitely that hard season in my life was be willing to get your hands dirty whether you liked it or not, and continue to press forward. And whether you finish on top or not, you're then going to be able to take that chapter of your life and apply it to the next season of your life. Right? Cuz like football was over. But does that mean my life was over? No, there's no ending credits after football.
Yeah.
Like there was another day to wait. There was another opportunity to get seized. And then that led towards going into freaking healthcare. And I know nothing. I knew zero. Bro, I was scooping rice during COVID. During COVID, I was scooping rice at a Korean restaurant. Shout out to my boy Peter. He kept me employed during those times. I could have easily, right? I could have easily said, no, I don't want to work. I want to take that stimulus check because it would be more than what I was making.
Yeah.
But that itch of like, I gotta work. Like I gotta do something with my hands. Because I know if I get $4,000 a month, I'm spending all of that on alcohol, drugs, and anything else I want. And I'm not gonna learn anything else about myself.
Yeah.
But that work of like, what happens when you get less than what everybody else is getting? Are you still gonna show up every day and do it? And that was like that moment of, okay, when it then came into, starting a primary care clinic and not having any credentials. I had no credentials, but all I knew to do was to just show up, be honest and transparent with like, hey, I don't know what this means. Can you show me?
Mhm.
Being coachable from all those years in football to then finally now applying everything that I learned. That's where, that superpower came into play. And now we're here opening up clinic number 2. Like it's just part of the game. Like you
Yeah.
just got to show up and be willing to work and work and work. And there's times where I catch myself where I'm like, dang, I know I could be working. I know I can be doing stuff. So now it's just like turning that into a good thing of persevering through. You've gone through all these hard things. Use that as part of your testimony to now advance the kingdom and do the work for him.
But you couldn't have learn that unless you went through it.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to go through that.
You had to go through a hard season. So like these hard seasons aren't meant for you to whine and cry and complain, which we might as well dive into Moses, because that's one of the first things that got me hot, bro. The first things that got me hot about Moses is like, dog, you've seen the miracles with your own 2 eyes that this burning bush is talking. First off, there is a talking bush to you, and it's saying, drop the staff, it turns into a snake. Pick the staff up, it's back a staff. Put your hand in your coat, pull your hand out, disease. Put your hand back into the coat, pull it out, no disease. It's like, bro, seeing those miracles, you should already know God's got you. And he still questioned it.
Before we do that, can I spit you with some game?
Yeah, spit me with some game, because I got hot off it.
My tia told me something today.
Yeah.
And it was just, had a little bit of rough patch these last couple of days.
Yeah.
And she told me one thing, and I was just talking to her, she always spits wisdom, she always spits game. She was like, you need to look at what God is trying to tell you. And just trying to do that in like every single moment is like, could you imagine if you were in your life back then? Could you imagine if you asked that, like, what am I trying, like this hard time sucks. What is God trying to teach me? Instead of saying, just be like happy. Because if you look at it from that perspective of like, okay.
Optimistic of like, this is a learning lesson.
This is a learning lesson. Like, what is God trying to teach me in this moment? And you can ask him and he will reveal it to you.
Yeah.
But could you, like, I couldn't imagine that whenever I was a kid, going through what I was going through, like if I asked that, you know what I mean? Like,
I just say, why me? Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, why me?
But that's, I don't know, that to me, that hit, like I've heard that, people say that before.
Right.
But like when my tia told it to me today, I don't know if it's just like,
it's what you've
being
gone
more
through.
mature.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean?
being,
It hit me today, and I was like, dang, that's real. Like I need to do that. That's the way I want to look at moving forward. Is like, what is like these hard times? What are you trying to tell me right now? Like, what do I need to learn from this? Give me the strength to get through this and to learn from this, and just be gracious.
Yeah.
That you're able to learn these lessons. You're able to go through this, because he only gives you what you can handle.
Yeah.
And
for that reason.
Because he knows you can handle it.
Yeah.
I can't handle maybe what you're going through.
But he knows that you can handle these things. Everything, isn't that crazy? Everything you've gone through, you've come out of, but it's because he told you you can handle these things. And it may feel like you can't. Yeah. That's where we get lost. We get lost in the feeling of it's not going to work. Yeah. But if we could go back to his word, we know that we're supposed to endure till the end. Yeah. And so that's where that perseverance word is so strong, and it means so much to me now. It just
especially what we've been on lately.
Yes,
he's faithful when we're unfaithful. All the time. He's
every time.
Even when we're unfaithful, even whenever we're like looking at the situation, like this sucks. Oh my gosh. But it's like, okay, he's still faithful and he still loves us and he's still going to come through every time.
Every time.
We just have to trust in him and have faith in him.
And the thing coming through doesn't always look like what we expect it to look like.
Yes, it's not always what we want. Yeah.
And that's another thing, like going into Moses, is like when God is telling him you're going to go back to Egypt, you're going to free the Israelites by talking to the Pharaoh, but I'm going to harden his heart. Yeah. Like he tells Moses, he's like, the things that you are going to tell him, he's not going to like it. The things you're going to show him, he's not going to like it. And he's going to harden his heart, but I'm doing this for a reason. And
why do you think he did that? Because whenever I read that, I was like, question. I was thinking about that. I was like if he can harden his heart, why don't he just unharden it? Like, obviously, I know they have to go through what they go through. It's a lesson, right?
But that might be it. That might have been the only way to free the Israelites, like through and have Pharaoh truly see that everything that he was doing. Like, I actually don't know.
But
I don't want to get it. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be wrong and lead anyone astray. But from my first,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. From my first thought of reading it is like, does Pharaoh end up changing?
Does he?
I don't know. I've only read the first 13 chapters.
I mean, it's
because
okay. So whenever they go free,
yes,
and he's like go, he sends them right after them. He chases them down.
His people after.
So he doesn't change.
Oh,
but my thing is like, to me, it's like, okay, obviously this is a lesson, right? The lesson that we learn is, do you think this is a lesson for the Jews to learn?
I think it's a lesson for because imagine if he didn't build up Moses to continue to trust him through the hard times. Moses wouldn't have the endurance to then take everyone through the desert for 3 days.
Yeah,
that's what I was seeing.
It wasn't 3 days.
Was it longer? Because all I saw in the chapters, it says like let us go for 3 days to sacrifice and worship God.
Yeah,
that's what I got to.
That's what he was. That's what you got to. But I think
That's what I got to.
But he wasn't saying for like, okay. But he wasn't. Was Moses asking him to like let? I think he was just saying for that because that was during. Wasn't that no? I don't want to just start saying stuff.
No, just say it. Say it.
Because wasn't that during their like no? Because that was during the Passover, right? That was like after. You.
So
you
the
read up
first 13
after?
chapters, the last chapter is literally chapter 13 is them after the Passover. Pharaoh's like, get out,
Taken off.
leave,
That's after all the firstborns
and
died.
all
Yeah.
and all the herd and everything, women, children, men, they all the Israelites get up and they get to leave.
Yeah.
So that's where we're stopped at. And even just in that segment, because I think perseverance will probably hold through the entire story of Moses.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look at it through that lens of
Yeah.
perseverance. But like, I just saw the perseverance of even seeing Moses keep kind of like talking back to God when God's telling him to do something after he's done exactly what he said he was going to do. It's like, bro, why haven't you just listened? And so like, to me, it reflects of like, what miracles have I seen that are so clear that are like, man, I do just got to trust God.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe it's not as, I mean, I don't know, is it as crystal clear? Sometimes it doesn't feel crystal clear, like Moses throwing the staff and it turning into a snake. Because if I know if I saw something like that, I'd be like, okay, what do you want me to do? You know, like,
this is real.
But for me, could that be as simple as like, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills. All of a sudden I get a phone call and then all of a sudden this guy talks to me and I do some work and now all of a sudden this money comes in. Could that be the same miracle as him throwing the staff down, turning it into a snake and picking it back up? That's kind of like where I'm kind of looking at it. Like you're going to see the miracles from you persevering and it may not look like what you want it to be,
Yeah.
but it's exactly what you need, you know, to shape into becoming that person God's calling you to be. Because he's calling Moses to be something greater than Moses ever thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
He just wanted to chill with his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was literally telling God, like, why me?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, I can't even speak.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm choosing you. And he still let him bring his brother with him, you know? And so to me, it's just like seeing that perseverance of just like, there's times where you don't feel like doing it. There's times where you don't understand why you're doing it. But if it's God calling you to do it, like it's not going to be easy when he calls you. That's the thing. That's the thing that's super new to me is like, oh, if God calls me to do something, then there's going to be a path that's like right here for me to take. It's like, yeah, that path is right there, but there's also lions, tigers, and bears that you're going to have to fight off because the next path is greater. The next path is greater.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how can you fight off those lions, tigers, and bears if, you know, you're essentially not learning how to do that, right? If you're not learning from a lion to then fight a tiger, to then fight a bear, you know, or whatever. But it's just kind of like levels and bosses that you need to go through. Like that boss for you was that time of sitting in jail, that hard season was you to realize this isn't what I want. There has to be more. To then next going to being around a community, to next going towards feeding the home. Like everything has a level to it, and God's going to direct you. But even at the same time, you have to have the willingness to be like, I have to do it. I have to. Because if I don't, what if I don't do what God's calling me to do and I delay my obedience? Imagine the Israelites or the people that are supposed to be affected by us just showing up, by Jonah just showing up and saying one sentence. Imagine if we never get to that because we don't obey.
Not all those people in that whole entire city wouldn't have been saved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he made it hard.
Yeah, he made it
And
hard.
God still had the patience and the mercy to be like, bro, you can run away as long as you want.
Yeah.
But there's going to be that belly in the whale. There's going to be that hard season for you to realize like, dang, God, you're right. Okay.
That just makes me realize how much God loves us. Bro.
Yeah,
like
bro.
when you really think about it, it's like just doing, like talking back, like, but like the idea of just like talking, like, bro, could you imagine seeing some of the stuff that Moses seen, or just some of the stuff Jonah seen?
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge that Jonah probably had, the miracles he probably seen at that time, you know, there was times like God was talking to him, bro,
Mm-hmm.
hearing his voice speak to you, and just being like, all right, I'm out. Like I'm gonna go dip.
He's like, this
Being
isn't
like
for me.
rather just like die in the ocean and drown and just be like than like just following him. No, like I don't know. I just that is crazy. But then
Yeah.
we look at that and we're like, okay, like how is that happening to us today? Like how have there been situations whenever God has told me to do something and I just disobeyed?
Yeah.
Even though I know how amazing he is and how awesome he is, and I've seen the fruit that he has produced in my life, and I've seen the things that he's done for me, still me like disobeying, still me giving into anger,
Mhm.
it's just those things. And it's just like, I look at them and it's like I say it like these people in the Bible, like like Moses,
Prophets and
yeah,
yeah.
just Jonah, all these guys, David, all these guys
Mhm.
that just were just so cool and then I'm like, oh, like how could they do it? But I'm doing it,
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, why? Like, because we're the same, It's they had like they were doing some different things, but it's the same thing. Like,
It is the same thing.
yeah,
We're all called to do something, right? We're all
yeah,
called whether we're supposed to lead millions or whether we're supposed to be the step for one person to lead millions.
yeah,
Like we don't know our role,
yeah,
but all I know is our purpose hasn't changed.
yeah,
And our purpose is to love God
mm-hmm,
and to love our neighbors like we love ourselves. And if we can just do that, God's going to show us our assignment.
yeah,
And I think it's really cool. I started reading this book called uh, Godly Ambition.
mm-hmm,
And he paints this beautiful picture of like the purpose has never changed, but the assignments will change.
mm-hmm,
So the assignments will lead you, but the will change dramatically whether you're raising a daughter, right? For this season, like there's this season of you having to be there all the time, and then there's a season of you having to work nonstop, 24/7. But everything that it's doing is stacking you up to continue the purpose, which is to love God and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so those things of just like understanding that there's an assignment, aka season of your life, is all meant for stacking those skills to continue, that purpose. And I thought that was just amazing. And it relates to all these guys in, all the prophets in the Bible, and especially Moses, man. Like just there's times where I fear of not saying the right things. There's times where I fear, especially now when, we have a Bible study, and not saying that they look to us for, you know, leadership, but we got to start it. We started this thing.
yeah,
I just don't want to turn my head away from this. And so there's times where I'm like, I don't know exactly what to say. And that's where relying on the Holy Spirit is just like, that's the key. That's the missing thing that I've had my entire life, was like going from just relying on myself to relying on the Spirit to lead me through these things that I may have no idea if I'm doing it, supposed to do it or not. But I know that if it's for the purpose of God, that,
like it may not, like you said it, we may not know what to say,
mm-hmm.
but we do know we have to show up.
Yep.
Even though like we just gotta let God work.
Let
We just
God
gotta
work.
show up.
I just
Let
show
him
up
work. Yeah.
and be used as a vessel.
There's one time I went to a church in Lubbock,
Mm-hmm.
and this pastor was talking about this time that he was in Africa somewhere, and he was just on a mission trip, I think, to kind of help them out, and he saw flyers of his face posted all over the village or whatever, and it was like saying like a healer's here, and he was just like a missionary with like high school kids, and he said there's a healer here, and he was like, hey, I ain't no healer, bro. I'm just like here to, so he goes to this place, and there's people there like expecting to be healed,
Yeah.
like they're expecting to be prayed for to be healed, of what they're going through, and like so he says he's on there, he's just like kind of preaching, and he has all these all his like the younger kids there, and like the high school students, and they're just there in front of him, and they're just praying, and things start happening, like these people are like, there's a lot of witchcraft there. There's a lot of just crazy things happening. And they, he doesn't know, he's never done something like this before.
Yeah.
He just knows that he's put in this position and he has to show up. Like he has to let God show up in this moment.
Yeah.
So they prayed and they got to it, and he said that he was really nervous leading up to it, but then after that, he just kind of let God work, and the things that he saw, just he was talking about like guys slithering on the floor, green foam coming out of people's eyes.
Oh
like
my God.
And they're just high school students. They're
Yeah.
just praying for them, bro. And he said like it was just, you just gotta let God work. All you gotta do is show up and just let God work. and he'll be there in those moments, you know. Especially because, yeah, I just thought that was a great story to put into it. But yeah,
That
you just
fires me
we
up.
can't we just gotta show up.
We gotta
And
show
you've
up
been
and
saying it, you know. We
yeah.
know what to do. You just gotta show up.
That's it. We may not know anything else other than like we said we were gonna show up at Bible study at 7 p.m. We're gonna show up a little earlier to like break down some things, but all I know is when that clock hits 7, we have to be on there.
Yeah.
That's what we made a promise to, and you know, and it says in the Bible, let your yeses be yeses and your noes be no, you know, and so that just kind of sticks to it of being a man of. I want to be a man of my word. I want to continue to do that, and you know, again, that's not easy to do. It requires waking up early.
Yeah.
It requires showing up when we're tired. You were tired this morning. You're tired this evening,
Yeah.
and you showed up today because you know that this one video could impact one person,
And
which
I
could
know whenever I
impact.
show up, I get fed too.
You get fed too. Dang
I
right, he
like
gets
showing
fed.
up to
He gets
that.
fed. He gets fed physically and spiritually.
Bro, I'm here for the food.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, the more I realize it, the more I'm super excited to do things with events or whatever gatherings that involve food, because when Jesus was ministering, a lot of it had to do with having food around.
Yeah.
You know, the loaves of bread and the fishes. Like for him to preach and teach, there was always food involved. So you could kind of see the connection between like feeding people leads to feeding people
Spiritually and physically.
physically.
Yeah. My thing is, so going back to like Moses, and
Yeah.
I know you kind of talked about how whenever he turned his staff into a serpent.
Mm-hmm. He did it twice. He did
Yeah.
it in front of the bush, and then he did it in front of the Pharaoh.
So when he was doing it in front of the Pharaoh, the Pharaoh also had like his little guys doing
wizards,
the
yeah.
exact same thing. Could you imagine what that looked like, bro?
To see that, like, what do you mean, from Moses' eyes to see it, or just like in
Just
general
just
watching?
like, could you imagine just like
like
'cause that's like
a wall out.
That's because it's like
It's a
like,
battle.
like you're seeing God's power, and then I'm thinking like, okay, could you imagine like what Moses is like whenever he did it, you know, the snake that was produced, and could you imagine like the snake that like the Pharaoh produced? I don't know. I'm just like kind of thinking like I'm thinking of like guy, like not saying one was more pretty than the other, but it's just kind of crazy to me. Like I'm thinking like it's just ugly looking. I don't know. I kind of I love thinking about things like that.
Yeah.
And like just kind of imagining them in my head, you know, like bro, that was so crazy to see. First of all, just seeing a staff turn into a snake, it's like whoa. But then, like
that's where I'm like, we're turned now. Like this is some crazy stuff. But like to also read deeper into that Moses's snake ate up all the other snakes.
Yeah.
So dominated all the wizards.
Yeah.
So that right there, you're gonna start looking like, dang, is this Pharaoh really about what? Like, are we really following something great?
Mhm.
Are we just following just this witchcraft nonsense that looks crazy?
And then being the Pharaoh and still being like, nah, dog, like
hardening his heart.
These are my people now.
How hard do you have to harden somebody's heart for them to get their firstborns killed? Like, dude, the locust should have been enough. The darkness, the days of darkness should have been enough. The fleas should have been enough. The flies. What else? The rivers turning blood should have been enough. Like all those things should have been enough. Imagine how much hardening it took for you to just say, "All right, go ahead and leave."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I can't compare because I don't want to judge or anything. But that Pharaoh is messed up.
It's a different time.
It's a different time, which we're out of time. You know, we're wrapping up part 1 of reading into Moses, and just having the lens of looking through the story of Moses with perseverance. You know, getting ready to dive into the next part next week. Shared some good things about anime. Shared some good things about MMA. I'm very happy we got to do this. Do you want to close us out?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to give you thanks, give you all the glory, Father. This is all for you, Lord, all for advancing your kingdom. And we just want to give you thanks for just allowing us to do it, allowing us to just be in your presence, just be with us, Father. We ask that you allow this to touch people, to touch their heart, Father, to just help them just whatever they are on the fence about or anything, they're just confused or they're just lost, Father. They just see your love. I ask that you just reach out your hand to them, to those people, and just just bring them to you, Father. Just show them your presence and just reveal yourself to them, Lord. We love you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, I'm your host, Kui,
This is Nate.
and this is the Jammin' Podcast. We hope you had a jammin' time with us. Tune in next week, and we're going to keep this baby going.
Sir.
Y'all have a good one. Be safe out there.
Peace.